I'm Priscilla Barrera with the Investing News Network, and here with me today is Brent Cook of Exploration Insights. Brent, thank you for joining us again.
Glad to see you again in Vancouver.
Yes, so we're here at SPROD. Can you let our audience know what has been the sentiment so far at the conference in terms of the exploration space?
You know, I would have thought it would have been better. I mean, it's always good at these shows because people coming here are always optimistic about the gold price year after year after year. We've had a move in the gold price, but there's not that many more people here. In fact, probably the same as last year. And I'm not seeing a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, for the most part, among the attendees. So I think that what that tells us is the money is yet to come back into the space. We're not certain if this is a real move in the gold price. And certainly when we see a drop in the gold price, it really scares people away and we see a lot of selling. Until we get a sustained price and move in the gold price and start to see some of the generalist funds come in, this is still the early stages of a bull market. So I guess I'm positive in the long run on the gold price.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about financing. Are you seeing then money coming to the sector? When will that happen, if not now? When would you expect that to happen?
Some money's coming in. It's interesting. The major mining companies, they're funding a lot of the exploration that's going on for big projects. And I think that tells us that they recognize that they're not having the success they need with their internal exploration to fill the void that's happening with the mines they're depleting. So the major mining companies and mid-tiers are coming in, putting money into specific companies with ideas and projects that might fit the bill. We're seeing some retail money come into it. We've seen Eric Sprott dump about $130 million into the sector over the past couple of weeks, and he's just basically gunshot everywhere. And obviously what he's thinking is the gold price is going way higher. It doesn't matter that much what I own. I just want to own a lot of things that have gold in the ground somewhere, regardless of economics, with the idea that eventually the bull market will bail him out.
All right, so you're touching on gold prices being a bit higher. What would you say is one mistake investors should avoid making in the current positive price environment when looking at exploration companies?
From my perspective, I think what we saw a couple years ago, I haven't seen it that much this year, but a company would put out a good drill hole and the stock would double or triple or quadruple, and you'd see it ramped up in the chat rooms and bulletin boards would be talking about it and everybody would be excited about it, but they didn't do the due diligence to recognize what that drill hole really represented, whether it was a twin hole, whether it was smeared grade, whether the structure they were drilling is really small. And so in my presentation I'm going to show, I think, 5 charts that go just like this. You don't want to do that. You want to know more, you want to understand what you're buying, I guess is what I'm saying.
All right, and last time we spoke was at a PDAC. We were talking a lot about mega mergers. It seems the next big trend in the sector is going to be divestments. What would you say will be the right approach for investors during the new season?
So because the larger companies are going to get rid of the smaller things that don't work for them. They're going to get rid of them to people and groups that they feel can competently manage the project, bring them some return, and not make an ecological disaster. So I would look at what the people are behind whoever buys this, whatever's being slapped off. And if those people have got a track record of doing the right thing, are able to finance, that's probably a better bet than just anybody. So no management, make sure they've got the experience, the connections, and the financial ability to move whatever they buy forward.
Right, and when we were speaking back in March, we were also talking about what was a bit of a disappointment for you in 2018, and you said zinc was a bit of a disappointment. So far in 2019, what would you say was your worst investment?
I'd have to look at my portfolio to know for sure. Certainly zinc hasn't done much better. So I would say probably zinc. The others have gone down. Some have gone down capriciously, but the story hasn't changed. You take a company like Azucar. They received $19 million from Newcrest to drill off a project looking for a copper gold thing in Mexico. They haven't had success yet. Little success, not much. The stock has dropped considerably, yet they've got 3 rigs down there working on this project. They've still got in the order of $15 million in the bank. So that's hasn't performed very well, but the thesis hasn't played out yet. So we're still in there for the thesis, and although it's a bad investment in the short term, it's probably a good buy now, you know what I mean?
All right, and has any stock surprised you to the upside?
Probably Radius Gold. We've held that for a long time. It was a speculation that Simon Ridgway, the guy behind it, would do something smart. I mean, that's what we do a lot of in Exploration Insights is we'll put money with a group or a person with the right share structure that we know is capable of doing something over time. Because these things happen, they happen in 5 days or a day, that all of a sudden they're an overnight success, but it takes a long time to get there. So you want to be in the company of someone who's done this and you trust and knows that eventually they will do something smart.
All right, so my last question for you today. We've spoke before about the big picture factors that matter and why. I just wanted to ask you, what do you think are some of the factors investors should be watching in the second half of 2019 that could impact the space?
Well, certainly whatever the Fed Reserve does. I mean, that's key, and that relates right to the U.S. dollar. My view and everything I've seen tells me confidence in the U.S. dollar and the U.S. is declining on a global basis, and that's going to shift money into other currencies and also into gold. So I think dollar down, gold up.
All right, Brent, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Once again, I'm Priscilla Barrera with the Investing News Network, and here with me today is Brent Cook of Exploration Insights.